good to be alive. What's up?
How you guys doing?
Party people.
I am Drew.
And I'm Kat.
And this is Let's Party, Prayer, and Punk Rock.
Yeah, it is. I love that song. Thank you for letting me do one of the songs.
No, not a problem. Of course.
I looked him up. The guy's name is Andy Grammer.
Andy Grammer.
Yeah, and he comes from California. He started playing in Santa Monica and got picked up.
Oh, he was like kind of noticed in Santa Monica?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, and he's got a few other songs that are kind of popular that I kind of forget. But I love that one particularly, and I'm going to...
Yeah, it's a good pick-me-up.
Yeah, I'm going to use it in my workshop to, like, get everybody excited about the day.
Use it in your workshop. You have
Yeah.
a workshop coming up.
I do. I'm doing a women's worship and Reiki workshop.
Women's Worship and Reiki.
Yes.
The WWR.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
I'm also, like, adding in, like, food. So I'm doing, like, health coaching as well. So weight loss or, you know... I mean, hey, if you want to gain muscle, whatever, I got you.
Right.
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
so I begin that this week, and I'm super excited to go on this journey.
I'm glad I'm not allowed to join. Thank you for making me feel left out. I
I'm
appreciate
sorry,
it.
you're not a girl.
No,
it's all for women.
I've seen Tootsie or whatever, you know? Can I, like, scheme my way
Hey,
in?
that's a good movie.
Like Soul Man, but, like, different.
but like,
But, like, not.
but not.
But not really, because I don't have tanning pills, and that would never happen. I don't know what tanning pills, like, would make you black like that. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
That's so hilarious.
That was like
Tootsie is such a good movie.
Tootsie.
Yeah, that one is a good movie. I haven't thought about that in so long.
I know.
Either.
I don't even know where that came from. That was like 1982.
He's like dressing up as a girl.
Mhm.
What's the actor's name?
Dustin Hoffman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
He is. He's pretty much good in almost anything
Everything
he
he
does.
does. Yeah, for sure. We saw Megan.
Yeah, speaking of movies,
Speaking
we went
of
and saw
movies.
the new Megan movie that's just came out in theaters last weekend.
Was it last weekend? Okay,
Yeah, I think it was just last weekend.
We saw it on the weekend it opened.
Yeah, well, we saw it the Wednesday after the weekend.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, there was a few people in there. It was like a Wednesday night, you know, so it's kind of cool to do that. You know, go on a Wednesday night. There might be a few people there. Sometimes there aren't.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's just kind of
like a week date. You know, like a weekday date.
A week date. A week date. I like that. But yeah, the movie was actually surprisingly better than I thought.
Yeah,
I really thought it was going to be a lot more kind of hokey and
campy.
I mean, honestly, going into it, I don't know if I really told you. I was just kind of like, all right, let's go check it out.
I could
You know
feel
what
that
I mean?
in your energy for sure.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, from the trailers, like, all right, what are you going to expect? You know, this girl's doll's going to
That
wig out.
weird
Whatever.
dance.
It's like
is
child's
super
play.
Creepy. It's total child's
Yeah,
play.
I will admit, like in the trailer shows that, and you're like, dude. That is creepy. That
She
little,
does this,
and
like,
it's just like a
creepy
little
dance.
swing thing before. After she does a flip, it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's that little swing thing she does. It's
And like dead
ugh.
armed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
And then like she does it before she kills. You know?
Yeah, that's what was kind of surprising about it. Is I honestly thought there were like more people were going to die.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
It was more
really
creep factor.
Exactly. They really did
Yeah.
a good job of sort of just letting the story tell its own, and it was just like the presence of the doll, and she
She
kind
was
of like
so
turned her
creepy.
head slowly, watching the person that she knows isn't fitting right with her her protective child that she has to protect, and that's what
Right.
it's like child's play.
It is.
You know,
But on like
it
a
was,
super crazy different level.
yeah, it was like different, and then really to me, it really had a RoboCop feel, like like a RoboCop in the movie in the
Yeah.
original one. They started with these ads for like home games that were like nuking your counterpart, and like and it was just like weird,
Yeah.
like kind of strange, futuristic, because it was kind of set in the near future.
Yeah.
And this one started like that with buy this doll, and it
Yeah.
was really weird because the advertisement was like, buy this doll and it will keep your child comfort even if the parents die. Remember
Yeah,
it had like
really
weird.
like yeah, like
It was
it's
very
during-
odd, and like how the RoboCop movie was, and it kind of played that way through the whole thing.
Like it babysits your child for you.
Yeah. So you don't have to
Yeah.
work. You don't have to parent.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of funny.
Well, the little
and,
girl in the movie, her parents die, and so she goes and lives with her aunt, and her aunt
Yeah.
doesn't have any
She's a
kids,
toy maker.
and she's a toy maker, and so she's using this as like her
a
new
test run. Yeah. She's trying to jump ahead of like someone else who's trying to come out with a new toy. And
right.
She has a deadline, so
and she's
she's
not
like,
supposed
all
to
right.
be doing it.
Yeah, and so she uses her niece as the prototype, and with the doll, and the doll pairs with her, and then it turns into like the doll just becomes overly protective.
Obsessed.
If you push the little girl, then this doll literally wants to kill you.
Yeah.
And it was kind of surprising.
Like
there weren't a lot of
deaths,
but it was like
something that could be created. Honestly, obviously not like demonic and stuff, but like.
Well, AI itself, and it's
like that's so dangerous.
It's like Skynet,
Yeah.
It's like it's going to become self-aware, and all of a sudden the helicopters are going to turn on us.
Oh my gosh!
It's like Terminator Maximum Overdrive turned into one.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, so I would give it. What do you give it? Like, what's your number?
Well, if they did a star rating and it was out of 4, I'd give it a good 3.
Yeah,
it was actually
3.
better than I thought.
Yeah,
But
you
was
went
surprised
into it thinking
with low expectations.
Yeah, so sure. I think that helps.
Yeah. And it was surprisingly a better, like the characters and stuff, even like their reactions and emotions, like they like played it out. It wasn't like just some quick note little thing. Got to get on to the next scene to shock people. Like it felt genuine. You know? It was a good movie. It really was. I was surprised.
And I thought the little girl did really great.
For sure.
We saw another new movie. It was
a new one that just came out. Yeah. I guess it just came out on Peacock on Friday. I guess it was on Friday.
Oh, it was Friday?
Yeah, I think it just literally came out on Peacock, and it's called Sick.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And
I was pleasantly surprised on that.
It's a horror film. It's a quick movie. It's like an hour and 23 minutes. So you want to get through that. Sometimes, especially in a horror film. Yeah. Just get to the point.
There
if it works,
was a lot of gruesome shots, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, that was... It definitely was horror.
It's a straight horror. And it's set in April of 2020.
Right.
So it's right, I guess. They announced it in the movie that it was the nationwide mandate with the pandemic. Everybody stay at home, wear your mask. And so, it kind of played on how fanatical people can be. Like, one friend is like, I'm not getting in the car until you put on your mask. Yep. And then another lady, when she's running down the road trying to plead with her because someone's chasing her, she's like, well, you need to put your mask on before
you
get
open
in
the
there.
door. It's unsafe.
But then other people that, like the character at the beginning, he gets out of his car and he's like, oh, shit. He's got to grab his mask and put it on.
Just
and
the
people
difficulty of the season.
Looking at him. And then when he's standing in line, at the beginning, and then the girl behind him, and there's like Coughs. 8 people in line, and everyone
freaks out.
Yeah, and it's like everybody's own little fanatical way of how creating the sickness COVID. And how to can't handle it. Yeah. And with this movie, it's, don't want to give too much away, but it's about 2 friends that go to a she's rich, I guess, and so her dad's got a house, big, illustrious house in the woods, and they go there just to chill out and pandemic quarantine,
together.
And then somebody is chasing, someone's stalking them, and they're using their cell phones and this, that, and the other. It feels a lot like Scream.
Oh,
when you're watching
100%.
It plays a lot on that, but there's a lot of new little fresh ideas that they do as far as like, well, they're in the woods, so there's barely any Wi-Fi, and then he makes sure he discards their phones before he does anything, which is kind of smart, that way they're not, okay, that's why, and that leads you like, okay, that's why they can't call the cops. So that's solved. That's why they have to do this.
Right.
They already explained
they're
that,
also in the middle of nowhere.
They already explained earlier, the next neighbor is like 2.5-3 miles away, whatever it is. And then what was funny is after the movie was over, which was good.
I love the ending. It was a great ending. I'm a happy person when the ending is good.
She likes it when everybody dies. That's what she's saying. No. But what was interesting is that, we were like, dude, this is totally like Scream, but it's okay. It works well. And then it said it was written by Kevin Williamson. And I'm like, that's the guy that wrote Scream.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's why. Okay, he can do that. It's his own stuff. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
But it was
had
an
me
updated
super
version.
Nervous. I was like,
well, it really worked well with the tension because they did do that. Because for me, too, I'm like, okay, like, I didn't say this when we were watching it, but after the girl came downstairs and you already knew that the person was in the house.
Yeah.
When he was in the hallway and she was talking to her friend, left and came back and he was gone. And she went down the stairs and then you see him go up the stairs. And it's like, why'd he go up the stairs when he was already up there? Like, that's totally, they just wanted to build tension. Oh, now he's like, why would he? But then you realize other things about it.
Don't give it away.
The music was played, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's why, because he wanted to draw them down to the basement with the music playing and stuff. Right. I was like, oh, okay, that make like they kind of explained all the little things. You're like, well, come on, because in horror films too, it always seems like you like to pick them apart.
Yeah.
Like that
happened.
Yeah, like if you want a good horror movie, you shouldn't have done that. But they really did kind of cover all the bases.
Yeah.
Don't
run up the stairs.
Yeah, you know what I mean, they and once again, he started that franchise with the Scream and set that whole social commentary in the horror film.
I liked it. I was happy.
Good.
I thought it was good. The actresses were good.
And it's good that it was like an hour and 23 minutes. We started like 11 o'clock, and it was like, oh, it's not even 12:30 yet.
Yeah. Yep, I liked it. I thought it was good. And I tend to fall asleep during movies, so a quick movie is always awesome.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Another horror movie that we did watch, it's more like a psychological, way big time, was Hereditary.
Oh, see,
Man, that was
tough.
A great movie. Toni Collette, and she's a great actress. She was Mother in the Sixth Sense, and she was actually the one of the characters in the first Knives Out movie.
That one sits with you.
It does. I mean, every scene that she was in was some sort of drawn out emotion, whether it was like a child dying,
she did
or
amazing.
Just flipping out with her mind, or her son going crazy, her husband not understanding her. She, her mother. It was just like, oh my gosh,
what a draining job for the actress.
Right. I mean, I'm surprised that you didn't hear of her trying to commit suicide after filming this movie. It was like, oh my gosh, like what she went through, like emotion-wise, it was just amazing.
And,
she is
an actress,
an amazing actress. She really was. She really was an amazing actress.
And as a good actress,
I should say. I'm sorry.
You pull from your own personal experiences to be able to extract that emotion, right?
Right.
So think about that. Like she's having to really tap into her potential traumas to be able to do that. I mean, it really shows, I'm interested to know, because I'm in the trauma healing world, if that actress has trauma and if that's why she's so great at her emotional debut.
I mean, I'm sure they draw from experience.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well,
how deep that goes
didn't
and
they
stuff.
teach you that?
Yeah, for sure, but everybody wouldn't necessarily have that.
No, not necessarily, but I feel like somebody who made
that's what's great about and being an actor or something is that you just, it could be like I skinned my knee when I was 6 and it was the worst pain of my life. And then they can draw it into and they're just going crazy and you're like, man, that's what makes you an actor.
You know what Amelia told me yesterday? Amelia said, I can cry on demand. And I was like, no way. I was like, you would be such a great actress.
Yeah, really.
If you can cry on demand.
I didn't know that.
I was like, and I'm also really impressed that you can tap into your feelings and emotions so quickly like that. Like a lot of people can't do that.
Right.
So I was really impressed.
Well, now she's songwriting.
Yeah, she is. Well, they both are. Jack and Amelia are.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. They
awesome.
both did love songs. Started with love songs. They're so cute.
And then there's happiness. And there's going through the emotions.
Yes. On my way, I took them to the mall this weekend, and on my way, they both sang me their songs.
Oh, really?
Actually sang them.
Oh.
What a treasure.
I haven't heard that.
I know. It's so good. There are a lot of ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, I know in Amelia's it had a lot of the oohs and yas.
Yeah. Cute. That's cute.
Funny.
Yeah, they're adorable. She put on we have a sign now that I got for Christmas that says on air. So
on air.
They're quiet
We're
right now.
official.
Yep. And she's like, I'll turn on the on air sign. She gets on her chair. Now they all know, shh, quiet, we're on air.
Well, we'll find out.
Well, so far so good.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite Christmas presents.
I still got to put the other one up, too.
I know, we have one for behind us, too.
Yeah. A little neon one. We'll get that up.
Speaking of things behind us, just quickly, we do have swag to purchase. Merchandise. Here we go. T-shirts and hats still.
That's right.
All right. So, what other movies have we seen to review here? We
saw quite a bit.
Well, the
American
Donnie.
Ultra.
Oh, American
was
Ultra.
One of them,
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart. He's like a sleeper agent guy that they wake up and he's like a stoner or whatever, and all of a sudden he becomes this kick-ass assassin. And people are trying to kill
fight
him.
Everyone.
It's pretty. It's cool. It's an action comedy.
Yeah, it's a feel good.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Just you don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Never. Don't take it too seriously. We watch it with the kids,
Chris
but it's
Farley.
hilarious.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
It was pretty funny. That's for sure.
I miss him. I was real sad when he passed away.
Yeah,
that was like devastating. I was young, but it was devastating. I remember that.
Yep.
Because he was so funny in Tommy Boy, easily one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah, Tommy was, he was great in everything he did. He'd have a little there's a tiny little part he has in Wayne's World. Yeah, and he's hilarious. Like talking about needs to be over here, and then it's whatever or in Billy Madison when he's a bus driver or whatever.
Yeah.
Great, get on the bus. No yelling on the bus. It's like, dude, it's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then the other funny movie we saw.
Oh, Office Space.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a classic.
It's a classic.
That's a cult favorite. And it's funny. It's one of those movies that was like panned at the box office. Like it,
really?
Bad reviews. It's like, oh my gosh, what's this?
So
and those are always the movies that end up being the ones that everybody watches.
I mean, it's so relatable at the beginning of the movie where he's in traffic and you're in the traffic and it's like
that
stop
lane
and the
moves,
lane
you move into it, then it stops, and then your lane you're just in.
Right.
Oh,
it's so frustrating.
As the guy's walking by in the walker.
If you're from California, you totally can relate to that. Sure. It's every day, all day there.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's so funny.
Touching the doorknob and the static electricity.
Yeah.
Corporate accounts available. Needs speaking. Just a moment.
Oh my gosh.
Over and over and over. Oh, guy.
Jennifer Aniston is so young.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was like 98, 99.
Yeah.
Close. I mean, guy, now it's like forever
How much flair do you have? If you wanted me to have 37 flair, then make the minimum 37 flares.
Flair, like the pretty boy Brian over there.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you wanted to express yourself.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I don't know. I hadn't seen it in so long. And you do a good Milton. Yeah.
That's my stapler.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the last straw.
Yeah. I'm gonna burn that.
I'm going to burn the place down.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and he's such a great actor too.
He is. Stephen Root is awesome. Yep, Barry and News Radio. I don't know if anyone even remembers that sitcom. Yeah, but he's been in so many things.
Barry is the most recent thing he's been in, and he's like he's like a drug cartel.
He's Barry's handler, and he's like he's like a total sleazebag.
Yeah, so he's such an extreme.
He's like a wily, just kind of he's just weird.
And then in the newsroom, he's like funny or I don't really remember it that much.
Yeah, he was just he has like a deadpan like humor to him. He has these little quick-witted notes about him when he speaks. You know? And he's really funny. He was actually even in Seinfeld. I don't know if you remember the episode where when Kramer goes to the bank, the advertisement at the bank was if you're not greeted with the hello, you get $100.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And so he has to go talk to the manager, and the manager was Stephen Root. Like, oh yeah, this desk, it's fine. It's like it's like a little part, but he's just funny. He's always funny in everything he does.
What's his name?
Stephen Root.
Stephen Root.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, he was good.
Another good one, if anyone hasn't seen it, is Donnie Darko.
Yes.
That's a little older, too. I think that's like the year 2000 or a little bit after. But yeah, because it was like right there. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
And his sister's in it, too. Maggie, who plays his sister in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's...
That's a mind trip. It's kind of... I like that I can watch the movie with you because you already had seen it and knew it. So
but even as I'm watching, I'm trying to figure it out,
Like for the second round or whatever.
It's a multi-viewing type of movie
kind of
to try
like
and figure out. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's more complex, really.
I like the end though. I was happy with the end. That was interesting. Yeah. And it really does tie it all in and helps you figure it all out.
Yeah.
But then once you figure it all out, or they tell you everything, you're like, I kind of want to watch that again to see all that.
Okay, wait. So when they were talking, the little passages that they show throughout.
Yeah.
Because it's a movie about this character Donnie Darko has visions of this like 6-foot tall demon telling him to do these things, whether it's like flood his school or burn this house down, and it's all supposed to help. Like pretty much the end of the world is happening, and like for some reason these things are gonna
help change that
maybe, and there's like time travel and like vortexes and like black holes and it's like the way they explain this type of stuff, it's like very interesting. But it is kind of, man, it's a little above my pay grade.
And there's like some romance in it too.
For
the girls who like that stuff.
I mean, it's got a lot of people. Patrick Swayze's in it, like Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal, Drew Barrymore, Noah Wyle. It's got a lot of Mary Steenburgen, I think's her name.
You know everybody.
From Dances with Wolves or whatever.
Ooh, that's a good
I know, I haven't seen that one in forever.
Man.
Yeah, that was it. It is a trip. Yeah, it's definitely one you got to look it up because it's something. It's hard to explain.
Yeah,
it's like trying to explain that movie Tenet or something, you know. Or,
yeah.
You know, it's like what the hell.
You got to be in a certain mood for it too.
For sure.
Like, it's not going to leave you in, like, a happy place. So be in a happy place when you watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely
Don't be depressed.
Dark.
Yeah, it is a dark movie.
And it's, like, it's kind of a weird, it kind of sits with you a little bit afterwards, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those thinking.
It's one of those, when you're ready for that type of, like...
Yeah, it's not like a lighthearted, like, hey, family, gather around.
Yeah,
We're watching Donnie Darko
like the
tonight.
other movie we saw. Dang, we have seen a lot of movies the last couple weeks. Your favorite movie?
Well, yeah, we were going to talk about that, like what our favorite movies are.
Right. So for New Year's Eve, we did a time capsule with the kids, and we had questions, and like, what's your favorite movie? And he wrote down Glory Days, and I was like, I've never seen your favorite movie. Like, what? You know my favorite movie, Titanic.
Titanic.
Yep.
Yeah, Titanic.
Yep. Always, forever.
No, that's
Titanic.
a good movie. Hey, Titanic is a good movie.
But, like, just, like, the first part. I like the romance part.
Yeah, see, I like it when it sinks.
Yeah. You know, but that's also a very good ending.
That's James Cameron. He gives everybody both sides. I mean, there were people that when that movie came out, I mean, my sister was one of them. Like, saw it like 14 times
I did, too. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I mean, like...
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'm a girl, and it's romantic, you know?
Well, I mean, and it captured everybody. I think a lot of those, too, were probably a lot of people, like the wives or the girlfriends or whatever went and saw it and were like, oh my gosh, you know, honey, you got to see this, and then went and saw it again, and then, you know, whatever, you know.
Yeah,
that was a good movie.
And I love Kate Winslet. She's fantastic. She's just, you know, I didn't even know that she was British because she has an American accent. Yeah. So she's like one of my favorite.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, he's not.
I'm joking.
Shut up. Look at I'm so gullible. I'm like, wait, what?
Huh? No.
So Glory Days we watched.
Glory Days, yeah. Yeah, it's Glory Days.
That's
and
a
it's
feel-good
Daze.
movie.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's like, when I used to work at a video store, I had been looking for this movie for a while because I heard it was a great movie. And then found it and saw it there. I was like, dude. So I saw it. And yeah, I don't know. It was like the time period I was into. But it's about this movie, about these characters going to UC Santa Cruz. And it's like the weekend, but that they're graduating. And they all have to come to terms with being an adult, pretty much. You know, like a couple of the characters live in this, it's like a frat house or whatever. You know, no, dude, we want to stay here for another year. We want to keep going and party, and, you know, we don't have to give this up. Why do we have to give it up?
Yet.
You know, these other guys in our room, you know, they got another year. Let's live it up, you know. But then they slowly realize that they need to go about their separate ways and be adults, you know.
Right.
So it's
through
like
the
coming of age
age
movie.
Yeah, coming of age movie.
It's a little bit harsher version of a John Hughes thing.
Yeah, like the relationships between the friendships.
Yeah,
very real.
And the way that the friendships blend, you know, it's essentially 4 or 5 members, but then there's other characters included too, and like how they all like, like, you know. This character will talk to this one about something, and then that character will go off and talk to someone else about something, and then that's someone like that's how our group of friends are.
Yeah,
you know, like we have.
It's like very real.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly.
And
you know, it was like, dude, I'm like watching.
He falls in love so desperately with this girl, and he's
they broke up with them, and he's like
obsessed with her. And his acting when he like pleads with her is like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, how do you say no to that? It's so good. And you can like feel it, you know? If you've ever had like your first lost love and you're just like, you don't know how to handle it, like you could see it come off the screen. And she's even saying,
you know, like, dude, look, it's not love. You are being obsessive. And I am getting concerned, you know? And you're like, oh, dude, I thought she was going to be like, okay.
I know, and
then they play on it afterwards and she walks away and the 2 people that were listening on the clip are like, this is Poe in love. What an effing loser. And they start laughing at him. It's like, oh, dude, that's even worse.
Oh, your buddies.
You just got crushed, and then these people are like, oh, by the way, let's push it in further. You know, it's like, it was just funny.
But and then
his buddy strap his dignity to the hood of the car on the way home, as he says.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
but you feel bad for him, and it's Ben Affleck. Yeah. And he's super young.
Well, and that's what's interesting, because it was made in, like, I think 94 or 95.
Yeah.
And so it's like when all these people's, before they were known.
Time, yeah.
So it's, I mean, like, the biggest name in it was probably Alyssa Milano. You know?
Yeah, I mean, at that time.
Right. You know, I mean, it had Brendan Fraser before anyone knew who he was, and Leah Remini from King of Queens. Yeah, I mean, Ben Affleck and French Stewart from 30 Rock.
Kind of like a tough girl.
Yeah, I know. Well, even that scene was pretty funny. You know, he called me chick. Not that kind of language. He might get away with that on the 2 or the 1, not on the 3. Like kicks him off his bus for saying chick.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. So funny. And then that song was pretty funny.
Now, and about the songs, if you know Drew, this whole album was like your jam-a-lam. It's all punk music.
Yeah, I mean, it had some pretty good songs.
So that, I also think, is why it's probably your favorite.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. The music was done by Warren Fitzgerald, who's in the band The Vandals. So they do some original songs. And then, they put in Pennywise and NoFX and Hepcat.
And how they end the movie with that song.
Oh yeah, with Mudhoney.
Yeah.
Yes. Acetone. Oh,
Acetone, that was it.
Wait. I thought we went out with that already.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We were pre-production meeting beforehand, and we're like, what was that other song we wanted to play?
Right.
Do you want to go out with that one?
No, it's fine.
We'll play another day on that one. But yeah, that was the perfect ending to the perfect song. To the perfect,
Yeah, the way the movie ended,
yeah.
You know? I mean, he got to say his little piece to the girl that he liked at the end, you know? Or I like that, angst for the memories, you know?
Angst for the memories.
And then it's just down the road, you know? And it was all set. I don't know if it wasn't, they used Santa Cruz because they used that fun zone and all that, you know?
Yeah.
But some of that looked like Santa Barbara.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
I wonder if they did do that, but then those colleges up there, they kind of can look similar.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was interesting.
But I'm glad to know that I now know and have seen your favorite movie.
Yes, I know.
Mine's
We've talked a long time
everybody
about it.
knows about Titanic. That's easy.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But the other one, if it wasn't that one, would be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And that we've seen, and that was the one I thought was your favorite movie.
Honestly, and I will say, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is probably the first movie. I think I have done that before with this, but not literally right away. I watched Once Upon a Time. I watched it, it ended, and I just started watching it again.
Oh, wow.
I was like, dude, this movie is just so good.
Wow.
I mean, because I love the outfit, you know, set in 69. I mean, I wasn't even born, but Quentin Tarantino is always known for, like, the way his production design. He makes it look like you're there.
Yes.
And, I mean, he had everything from the bus stops, you know, and the old just advertisements on the radio. The soundtrack, if you've not heard the soundtrack, he uses the radio of LA in 1969, and you're you know, Tanya's tanning butter, and you know all these
commercials.
Yeah, you know, and it was just so just totally it brings you in.
Yeah,
you know?
yes.
It was really cool. It was, and you know the actress Andie MacDowell.
Yes.
Her daughter is the one that was the girl that was with Ben Affleck or Brad Pitt. You know, the girl that kept flirting with them.
Yeah.
That's her daughter.
Oh.
Yeah, they mentioned it on the radio the other day. I was like, oh, okay, I could see that. They looked alike.
Curly hair.
Yeah, the brown hair girl, you know? Yep, exactly. And they took him to the ranch, which drew them into the awesome ending.
I love to find out when, like, a good actress or actor is related to an actor or actress that I like.
Yeah.
Like, oh, good.
Like, there's another actress. She was in Zombieland 2. I don't think you saw that.
I'm not big into
But she
that.
plays this ditzy blonde, and I guess it's Leah Thompson's daughter, who was, you know who Leah Thompson is? She was Marty McFly's mother.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know, Leah Thompson?
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh, okay.
I knew her name, I couldn't place her, but yeah, no.
But then you see the face and you see the mannerisms, and you're like, oh, okay, you know? And she's funny. Like, this girl's funny in that movie.
Oh,
like,
nice.
a total ditzy, you know,
like
a Rose Byrne kind of thing, you know?
I do not like zombie movies.
No, I know. Well, it's like a comedy. You know, they just kind of play on all that.
All the funny parts of it. Like, make fun of it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more just like, you know, while they're trying to talk about love, like, oh, hold on. All right, so anyway, I was saying, you know, it's, like, it's supposed to be funny, you know, but Woody Harrelson's in it.
Oh, yeah.
He's strange to me, though. That guy is, like, so... I swear, ever since I saw Natural Born Killers, like, I see that in him. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, a long time
ago. Like, he's
ago.
just psychotic, you know? And it's just like, man, I have a hard time being at ease with him being, like, in the room with me. And I'd be
he's like in the Hunger Games.
Yeah, he does a great job in that.
He does a great job in that.
Yeah. He is a great actor. I mean, Cheers, he was like that ditzy Woody. Yeah, his name was Woody, I think, too.
Yeah.
You know, and he was just like the ditzy, okay, Sam.
And he's very likable in that. Like, that's how I began to know him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then you're like, whoa,
Cheers.
who's this guy?
Now that I think back of it, I was probably way too young to be watching Cheers.
Oh, so was I. Oh, yeah, you're 5 years younger than me.
Yeah.
I was too young to be watching Cheers.
Oh, man. I wonder why I ended up in the bar in my 20s. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is it for our movie reviews.
Yeah, that's it on the
today.
movies. TV, we
Not
finished up on our Tulsa King. Got
Yeah?
through the first season.
Yeah, so we
And that is a good show. It takes a minute to get into. It's done by Taylor Sheridan, so I mean, it's got some really good dialogue, and it's
some shocking ending moments for sure.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I thought it was over, and then it wasn't.
Right.
And then I thought it was over, and then it wasn't, and I was like, holy moly! Like it was like a lot of
because they have
things that happened at the very end of that episode.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're like 3 months later, they still gave you like oh, I was thinking. I won't give it away, that something was going to happen at the beginning of the next season, and then they're all 3 months later, and they show you what happens, and then something else happens, and you're like, oh, hot damn.
Yeah, because they have so many little storylines going on between the mafia in New York and these people in Oklahoma, and then he's, the ATF agent. And, and it was
had a good ending. I mean, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously, you're, like, ready for the next season. They did a good job of, like, setting it up, but, yeah, they did.
And he's old, and he is so well put together still.
Years old.
Yeah, he's like doing fighting scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
Unbelievable.
78 years old. He's
I can't
looking
believe
pretty good.
it. Yeah. I don't know. He's got the magic celebrity youth pill or something.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they have
Botox
quite a bit of, resources and whatnot to get what they need,
Yeah.
I mean, they get top of the line stuff, so I mean, they get the best fitness trainers or, best advice or whatever, so they think, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do look better on camera, you see him in real life and it's like, oh, okay,
and makeup help.
Yeah, I saw him in Gelson's, dude, and he did not look good.
But I was impressed with his, like, mobility.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just have, like, a soft spot for him.
Oh, yeah. Like, him and Schwarzenegger. It's like, like, some of those movies come on, or even, like, Lethal Weapon. It's like, oh.
Yeah, Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
Kevin Costner. All the 80s.
Well, it depends on the Kevin Costner.
Heartthrobs. Patrick Swayze, although I did not like him in that movie.
Yeah. It was and Donnie Darko,
That was horrible. But I won't say why.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I won't. Yeah, so that is it for the movie TV reviews.
The review. Yep, that's right.
So on to what are we doing, or what have we been doing in like churchy wise, Jesus wise. I'm doing the workshop, which is cool. I'm like incorporating worship into Reiki. That's what I've been doing. And then you go to work and you drive and you listen to the Arbor Road service, which is super cool. And I don't ever like take time. It's like your own personal time sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And I thought maybe it would be cool if you could like share what you shared with me.
Well, I mean, it's something that's like been on my mind, like regardless. But then they're talking like it was about Galatians 6, and they were referencing Galatians 6 1-8. And it was kind of interesting because the service at Compass today was they referenced Galatians 6 verse 7, and it's kind of just pretty much your who you really are, and if you want your true faith,
true person.
Like it says in Galatians, like doing good all the time. Like I mean, of course we struggle with that, but okay, like let me start with the verses and then I'll continue here. So we're Galatians 6. We're just going to do verses 1-8. So, brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. But watch yourselves, or you may also be tempted. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. If anyone thinks they are something when they are not, they deceive themselves. Each one should test their own actions. They can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else, for each one should carry their own load. Nevertheless, the one who receives instruction in the word should share all good things with their instructor. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Whoever sows to please their flesh, from the flesh they will reap destruction. Whoever sows to please the Spirit, from the Spirit will reap eternal life.
Yep.
It's just kind of interesting because, in like he was talking today, they were talking about they're on a series of the genealogy of Jesus at Compass.
Right.
And they're talking about, I guess, we missed last week's service, but they were talking about Abraham and Isaac. And then this week they're talking about Jacob. And it was interesting because they were talking about how Jacob was the deceptive one. You know? I mean, that's what Jacob means. What do they call it? The grabbing at the heel or whatnot.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's kind of like how he was born. He was born into the world that way. And he deceived his father by pretending, and because he wanted his blessing, he wanted his father's blessing, so he pretended to be his brother, who was the heir to the throne. But he had already, and you know that's another story with how he took his birthright from him over pretty much a bowl of chili. Yeah. But he, you know, deceived his own father for a blessing, and you know, like God's not going to see that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, he wanted the blessing. He wanted to be blessed. And then after that, what happened? His brother found out about it. He ended up going out on the run for like 2 decades. And you know, he didn't actually get blessed with what he thought he was supposed to be because
he was pretending to be somebody he wasn't.
Right. And what was that phrase that you saw at Compass today? It was
God cannot bless the person you are pretending to be.
Right. Exactly. And
that hit me so hard today.
Being
I was
deceitful.
Like, wow. Because God knows your most intimate thoughts before you even think them. Mm-hmm. And so you cannot run or hide from him.
When he knows where you're coming from, yeah.
And so if you are living a false life to other people, he also said, and I don't know, it was a quote that wasn't Jesus or anything, but it was like, if you are going to be presenting yourself as someone, you know, eventually you will be found out, basically. Yeah. Like, it's like the wool over
your true intentions will be shown for what they are.
Eventually, you know? It's like you reap what you sow.
Well, you can't fool God. God knows who you are.
God knows.
You know? And I mean, and he knew what Jacob was doing all along. You know? I mean, you're going to get my blessing. You're going to get your father's blessing from me. Like, I don't see what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, this is what you're going to do, and you're going to find your own path. And then in Exodus or whatnot, where it says, was it in Exodus?
I think it was.
Where he had said about, you know, he wrestled with a man throughout the night. And, you know, that man was God. And, you know, and eventually God told him that your new name is Israel.
Right.
You know, and you'll lead the 12 nations and whatnot, you know. And it was, like, you know, like...
Because he came to him as his self. He asked him, what is your name? And he didn't lie.
Yeah, he didn't lie.
And
he said
saying
Jacob.
it was his brother or anything. And he came and he said, I am Jacob, which means...
Like more like I'm deceitful. I have been deceitful. Yeah, exactly.
But his heart initially was in the right place because he was begging to be close to God.
Yeah.
So it was like showing himself as his true self.
Finally.
Moving his ego, right? We all gotta move out of our way of our ego.
Right.
And connect with God because...
Well, like it said in 7, you know, you reap what you sow.
Right.
You know, and God will see what your intentions are, you know. And you know, and even all of us here, like, it's interesting to me how it says, like, where does it say here? In verse 2, carry each other's burdens.
Right.
But then later on, it says in verse 5, for each one should carry their own load.
Right.
You know, and it's like, yeah, well, and that's the thing too, like, you know, I think that in order for us to help other people...
We got to start with you.
Well, right. And you can't, you know, like... I'm not going to teach you how to be a lawyer if I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of like saying something like that.
Right.
You know, how can I teach you how great God is if I don't think God is great? If I'm not living the right path and the right thing, doing the right thing for God, you know? If I'm saying that, you know, I believe in God, but I'm going out and pillaging people and killing people, I mean, God knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't need to be that severe, but if you have your own personal demons, is pretty much what they're saying. Like, how are you going to teach people what the right thing to do is when you're struggling to do that yourself?
If you don't take care of yourself, and if you're not happy with who you are inside, you're not going to be able to be happy with others.
And it's like recognizing that and going, okay, you know, I know, like he says, you know, without pride or with pride, make sure that you accept like what you know, what you can do, because it like we have to have compassion, you know, and essentially with compassion, that's everybody, you know, needs to be in agreement. You know, it's working as a team.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we can't individually think that, you know, that you know, oh, well, you're wrong, you know, and act like we're higher than these people and go, look, I'm sorry, child. let me show you the right way to go. You know, like, now you're a Pharisee.
Yeah,
you know what
God's
I mean?
not blessing that.
Yeah, let me help you. And because he doesn't look like, oh, Catherine, hey, you're doing great right now. So, you keep doing what you're doing. Drew, we got to work on you, buddy.
And compare us. He doesn't
do any. There's no comparisons.
It's our own
There's
journey.
nothing
You
like
die
that.
alone.
He gives each of us compassion, and with each other, we should show each other compassion the way God views us and shows us compassion.
And in
that
same
I think that's
breath,
what it is.
You should show yourself compassion.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And I feel also it relates to like your own self boundaries, right? So if you are in connection with the Holy Spirit and feeling like he's helping you with your journey and your path, then you can say no to sinful things and feel good about yourself and live.
Well, it's easier to say no to those
It's easier
things.
to say if you are walking with him, and experiencing him, really. Right? Listen to your intuition and listen to your self-boundaries. It's so fun to like, and I'll relate it to food. It's so fun to be like, I'm not going to eat that. And then actually listen to my self-boundary. And then the next day feel thinner and go, I'm so glad I didn't eat that.
You see like the
joyful.
benefit. Yeah.
Right. And so, and that helps you carry on. And that's just something, simple, but, soulfully, it works too. Right.
Well, and it's faith. I mean, we all, that's what faith is. It's believing in something you can't tangibly touch or taste or see or smell or whatever,
Like love.
Right. It's so funny how we're so willing to accept love when you can't touch it, taste it, feel it, but God.
But you can feel it. Oh, you can feel it.
Well, yeah. You can feel it.
And you can feel God.
But you can't see it. And I think that's the biggest problem really is, not being able to see what it is that you're supposed to be believing in or whatever,
Yeah.
That's why idols are so quickly used because it's like, I can see that. I can
touch it.
Bow down to it. And you know what I mean? It's tough to have faith. And that's what it is. It's just keeping that faith,
It's a daily thing. It's an all-day daily thing. And, we're human and the struggle is real. Because our ego gets in the way.
And we shouldn't judge each other for that. And that's like a big thing.
That's a big part of it, yeah.
Like we all,
and thou shalt not judge others, man.
Yeah, we all hit the ground.
That's hard. Yeah, we all do that. So...
And you did really.
I really,
you really did.
The wrist, man. I have a man. Do your.
No way, man.
Yeah. I'm bionic. It's pretty cool. I got screws in there. This is my first and hopefully last metal hardware in my body, and I got the X-rays, and I was like, wow, they're actual screws. Like,
see, you're slowly turning into AI.
Oh,
starting with your hand. See,
I'm gonna beep at the airport.
Luke Skywalker, like, oh, dude, I'm starting with my hand. It's gonna go up my. Oh boy.
Oh man, I experienced such incredible pain in the last couple of weeks. It's very humbling. I give all my love to the people who have chronic pain. It is just.
Well, like watching that movie last night, she's like walking around with a broken leg or whatever.
Oh, I can feel it. Oh, it's horrible. Breaking a bone is no joke. Breaking it and experiencing the actual break was not a problem. It's the aftermath.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord, have
mercy.
Once
the adrenaline goes down.
Also, I did not know this, so I'm going to share it. I never take opiates, and so I was given them to deal with the pain for this, and I took some hydrocodone that were number 10s for a week every 3 hours because the pain was, like, incredible. A week later, I'm like, well, I don't need this anymore. I'm starting to feel better, and I just stopped taking it, which is not a good idea. Apparently, you're supposed to taper off. 1. 2, if you ever experience it, know that you're going into it where you will have to go through some withdrawal symptoms that I didn't know was going into it. I probably would have opted for 800 ibuprofen because 3 or 4 days of chills and withdrawals was like a lot, Mm-hmm. So if you ever hurt yourself and you gotta go to the doctor, make sure you know what you're getting and how to like get off of it and talk to your doctor about it for sure. Hard lesson learned by me. You never have well, I guess you did. You broke your rib. Or
no, I
fractured your rib.
Yeah, I've had fracture, but I've never broken it.
But that was like super painful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had a bruised rib and fractured 3 ribs. It was like my senior year. I didn't go to school for like a month.
And that affects your breathing.
Oh yeah, I did. Hardcore. I mean, I was pretty much on the couch. I had codeine, but I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But it was just the rubbing of my pelvis. That was just horrible.
Oh yeah.
It would take me probably, I mean, not exaggerating, probably 10 minutes to walk 10 feet. It was ridiculous.
So you understand, yeah. Ugh. And it's pain that you can't really get to because it's a bone. So there's no nerves. I don't know. It's an interesting pain that's super different than any other pain.
It's like having a bone bruise, but worse. You can try and rub it, but it'll make it worse.
Yeah. Do you have a broken bone or a cool break story? At least mine is kind of a cool story. I did it skateboarding.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And yours was a car crash.
No, mine was a wave runner accident.
A wave runner accident.
Head on with some guy that was drunk.
Ugh, that's horrible, but it's still kind of a cool story.
Yeah, I mean, I did a Superman or a cartwheel all the way across.
On the water.
Yeah, I thought I was dead. I pretty much thought I was going to heaven.
And that was one of your God moments.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
See how God uses something like that to help connect your faith.
Yeah.
Something painful like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I'd listen because 3 months later I got in another bad accident. It's dude, come on, man.
Yeah, you didn't listen.
Yeah, here you go.
Gives you exactly what you need.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. Poor mom.
Poor mom. Shout out to Mom. We love you.
Hi, Mom.
All right. Well.
I
think we're close to the end here.
Yeah, I think we're done here.
Did you what are we going out with music-wise?
Musically, I thought we got to remember that Mud Honey song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's funny. We're totally trying to remember which one, and then there we go.
And in the pre-production meeting, we could not figure it out.
I thought we'd listen to a song by Good Riddance. I don't know if we've listened to Good Riddance on here yet. I don't think so. They're another band. They're a punk band. Surprise. They're out of Santa Cruz.
Yep.
And
surprise.
They're on the surprise. Talking about the movie. They're on the Fat Records label and whatnot, and they're good melodic punk. They had, they've been around since '88 or something like that, pretty early. And then they quit, and then they came back, so now they're back again. But they had an album called Cover Ups, and it was all cover songs. And I love it when another band will do the original song and it's good. I mean, sometimes, you hear the cover and you're like, oh my gosh. Or, it's not that great at all.
Right.
Why did you
To
cover
me,
that?
it's better.
Yeah.
Way better. Way better.
So, Good Riddance, they have these cover songs, and so one of them is called Come Dancing. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've ever listened to the older versions of these songs, Come Dancing was originally done by the Kinks. And the Kinks were this band here. Yeah. Old school. The Kinks, they did My Sharona.
Yeah, My Sharona.
My Sharona.
Yeah.
They're a pretty good band.
Yeah.
So Good Riddance does this song. They do a cover of it.
Which I way like better.
It is good. I mean, and I love that about you. You know what I mean? It's yes. So this is Good Riddance with their version of Come Dancing. We love you guys.
Yes.
You guys have a great afternoon.
And don't do drugs.
They put a parking lot on a piece of land where a supermarket used to stand. Before that they put up a bowling alley on the side that used to be the local valley. That's where the big bands used to come and play. I used to wait there on a Saturday. Come dancing, and all the boyfriends used to come and call. Why not come dancing? It's only natural. Another Saturday, another date. She would be ready, but she'd always make him wait. In the hallway, in anticipation. He didn't know the night would end up in frustration. He'd end up blowing all his wages for the week, or for a cuddle and a peck on the cheek. Come dancing, that's how they did it when I was just a kid. And when they said come dancing, my sister always did. I took her to the bed by midnight, and my mother used to stay up and wait. It always ended up in a big row, and my sister used to get home late. Out my window, I can see them, two silhouettes saying goodnight in the moonlight by the garden gate. they knocked on the valley. My sister stood and cried. The day they knocked on the valley. Part of my childhood died, just like. Grown up and playing in a band, and there's a pub club where the father used to stand. My sister's married and she lives on an estate. The daughters go out, now it's her turn to wait. She doesn't get away with things she never could, but if I asked her, I wonder if she would. Come dancing to my sister